Well, right now at 12:06 on this Holy Thursday, good afternoon, folks. You're listening to the John DePietro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. Remember, you could always listen online at our website, depetro.com. Now, Juan has already had a very busy Thursday. I'm going to tell you about it. Folks, excuse me. Again, we have been on the go, literally on the go, since 8:30 this morning, and covering all kinds of stories from. I'll try to find out the latest. How about in Woonsocket this morning, and hopefully that ended happily. I've not heard, but they were certainly searching for, I think it was a 2-year-old, a toddler wandered off, only in a diaper. I'm going to tell you about, well, I don't know. I'll have to find out, follow up more on that. And also, well, I was at a state police raid early this morning, and we haven't even had time to go through all the video yet. But I'm going to get to that, bring everybody up to speed, and then, as many of you know, no one in the media has covered the ATV situation more than the Chosen One, and I'm going to bring you up to speed on that. Now, this is the noon report. And I want to give a very special shout out. From what I understand, Jane Rice tells me that we have a crew at Governor Francis in Warwick, right across from I used to work at that IGA. And my folks, well, my dad especially, rest in peace, he loved the Governor Francis Inn. So Jane Rice tells me that there's a number of people that they sit and they watch the noon report, whether they're sitting in a booth or at the bar or whatever. But the Governor Francis Inn, when my dad was still alive, I used to go and get huge gift certificates for them for Christmas, and I mean, quite a bit, just because they loved to shoot down Warwick Avenue, and they said to them it was like the Twin Oaks of Warwick, as a matter of fact. In many ways. So good afternoon to everybody. I love hearing that in fact that people are, and I like that. And folks, that's just another reminder. It's 12:08. This is the noon report, and you can watch it on Facebook. You can listen to it on the radio, obviously. And this portion of the program, though, I want to. I'm just looking. How come I'm not seeing? As I'm going through this whole thing, why am I not seeing the Facebook thing? So all of a sudden, program almost comes to a halt just for a moment, although I do see people watching, but I'm not exactly sure why I'm not pulling it up. Folks, I know it's a technical thing. One, this has nothing to do with the radio. I'm aware of that. And I am seeing that it's live, but how come I'm not finding the video for it? I'm not exactly... Oh, my goodness. And with the morning I've already had. All right, let me do the... Yeah, I don't know what that is. Yeah, no thanks. Let me just double check here, folks. Let's get on track here. We want to have a good program at 12:09. I hope everyone enjoyed Attorney Tim Dodd last hour. But sometimes when Juan is in a hurry, and then I am... can't imagine why I can't pull up the video that I see people, but I don't mean it like that, unless it strictly went into people. Nope, it's not there. Well, that's odd. Huh. Very, very odd. All right, well, we're gonna roll with it. I'm not exactly sure why that is happening that way. And the Masters starts today. So, but I want to, I normally then like to share it, the Facebook, on my personal page. And for whatever reason, I'm not seeing it come up on that. So I apologize, folks. I know it must be, what is this? So annoying. Can't imagine how annoying it is for those that, there it is, there I am, that are listening on the radio right now. That would be really annoying, as a matter of fact. So, Nope, that's not the one. This is the one I want. Okay, here we go. Noon Report Live. Boy, that was easy, said no one. All right, now we're off and running. Let me give a quick shout out to everybody on FB, even though I'm well aware. There's Karen and Jonna, and everyone shared. Thank you. There's Nancy. Hi, Nance. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Nance. We got to get Jane on with her smock. All right, let's. Very unique, as a matter of fact, because I have so much to tell you about. Now that we are back on track, later that day, let me just check one more thing, folks. And again, we were live last night. We're gonna retool the way we're doing some of the nighttime type stuff. But nope, that's not me. There I am. Good Lord, on this Holy Thursday. All right, there we go. Now, where was I? Later that day. This portion of the program. Now, you know what? I'm going to give them. It's brought to you by PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. Folks, the season is here. They're officially open. All of your Easter plants. Stop in. Beautiful selection. Pansies, pansy flats, pansy bags, hangers and bowls, assorted colors. Easter plants, tulips, hyacinthus, daffodils, hydrangeas. Colors available, blue and pink. It's Debbie and Steve and Junior and Byron. They carry many landscape materials. Screen loom, black, brown, hemlock mulch, crushed stone. Look for them on Facebook. Now, they have a great Facebook page. They update it. By the way, if you are a business, you should check out the way Facebook, PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center does their Facebook page. They're open 7 days a week. They're right off of Route 4. And this is where you want to pop in. You shop local. Get all of your Easter plants, beautiful, pansy flats, pansy bags, tulips, hyacinthus, daffodils, hydrangeas. Folks, we have to live. You want to improve, you want to be positive. PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. They are open for the season. Great selection, great service, great quality. Only place I shop. That's where we got the independent Christmas tree. Folks, they're open. Stop it and see them. Say hello to Debbie. People drive in from all over, but they're easy to get to. Right off of Route 4, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. They're open today. They're open tomorrow, Good Friday. They'll be open on Holy Saturday. They'll be open on Easter Sunday. They're open every day. They grind. They work it. And especially, I want to appeal to many of our Cranston followers and listeners. Hey, listen, you're talking about a 10-minute ride. PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. And they have a tremendous selection. Hydrangeas are so beautiful. What a difference it makes for your property. Blue and pink. Check it out, PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. All right, now that we're back on track. That didn't take long. Folks, and also this Sunday, the Coesit Inn, they will still a few spots for Easter brunch. The Coesit Inn, which sponsors DePietro.com. Now, if you check DePietro.com, as we speak, Channel 12, at least Channel 12, as far as I know, they are in North Providence. Why are they in North Providence? Because we are the only ones. DePietro.com, State Police raid in North Providence. Now, I reached out to the State Police multiple times yesterday. I reached out to the North Providence Police yesterday. I saw the State Police early today. I'm not knocking them, but undercover, I think it was the narcotics unit. I think someone OD'd. They removed a body from there. Now, they had a lot of activity on Metcalf Avenue. You can see the video. I know someone said to me one, I don't understand. I'm checking. By the way, I get a kick out of this. I'm checking 10, 12, and 6. I don't see anything. I know. How about the people that put, well, I didn't see anything in the news about it. I am the news. As Sherm Strickhauser said one time, I am the media. Don't talk to me about the media. We are the media. You can see that. You can see the young woman that the PC basketball program in the legal team of this Alan Breed totally attacked. The Rhode Island Shuffle set her free. Boy, that story, huh? So I guess, boy, what a lesson they sent to young women around on the PC campus and that surround the PC campus, if you make any accusations against a member of the PC basketball team, you're going to be called a liar. They're going to call on you, put pressure on you to recant your story. They're going to try to ostracize you. What a message they're sending all the young women at Providence College and surrounding. They make it very clear, we're going to use the court system. You can call the police. We're going to get to the judge. We're going to get it tossed. We're going to encourage them, as Alan Breed's legal team said. We're going to have the police charge you with falsifying a story. To me, that is the story of the week. That Providence College flipped the story to somehow blame the Providence police. And again, I want to be really clear. As I heard from another PC alum yesterday, they couldn't find it. That is irrelevant. They couldn't find the gun. Irrelevant. That's not part of it. They jumped the gun. How many of these puns do you want to play? He's a shooting guard. They jumped the gun. He showed up there with a handgun, according to the witness, and then was arrested. So, no, it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of you don't cut special privileges for certain individuals. So you can read that story as well. We're still, I don't know. I'd like to interview her. We'll find out. Again, for now, he's out on bail, Alan Breed. Maybe they can work the whole thing out. He may be playing at the Civic Center in October, November, when the PC season starts. But I think it's an interesting dynamic. It shouldn't be lost. It's not lost on me that the whispering campaign that goes on, off the record conversations with the legal team that the player brought in, and it's the typical, she's nuts, she's crazy, she lied, she just wants money, blah blah blah. Police did their job. Providence police did their job. Now, this morning, no one else. You can keep looking. There was no one else there. Let me give a special shout out, though. Folks, all part of Team One. Do you notice Team One? We have a lot of exclusive video on the Facebook page. It's happening so fast. We haven't even had a chance to also get it on our YouTube page and also on DePietro.com. But I want to give a special shout out to Robert, who was fantastic this morning. So, yes. Well, we'll see about that. I know Channel 12 is knocking on doors for the story that we broke in North Providence. But, folks, state police, I understand they have a tough job. They just operate differently. And I'm trying to work through it. I'm trying to follow their system, which is very little to no information. But this morning, I was in Silver Lake. There was a state police raid. Now, I want you to understand, now, where is it? Why didn't you go live? Because many times when they do these types of raids, I'll answer that question, there are undercover officers that are involved in it. And I don't want to jeopardize the investigation. I don't want to blow their cover identity. So, admittedly, I have communication with the state police that were on scene. And in the past when I've admitted this, I've had some of the people, oh, so you're compromised. It's not a matter of being compromised. Compromise would be if I didn't report anything. You can report the story and not show an officer who's working undercover, could put himself in jeopardy, could blow the case, but more importantly, maybe subject them. So, in situations like that, I respect the work that the Rhode Island State Police is doing. I get out. They know who I am. I'm the only member of the media there. And I ask that, simple question. Do you have undercover officers here? And they said, one, actually we do. And then I'm not going to go live. Listen, I have footage. We're going to edit it. It was an auto body shop in Silver Lake. And I'm the only one that has the footage of it. And much like, there's other footage I have from the situation in North Providence. But again, I understand when people spend time and they're working undercover. I'm not going to toss that away or be inconsiderate of the fact that their safety, is paramount, number one. Number two, that it could compromise an investigation. So there's footage I didn't use where I could recognize the undercover officers that were on the scene. And I think that makes sense. Now, I want to be really clear. That does not, as some people say, you're hiding information. It's not information you need. It's not pertinent to the story. I've just about had it with some of the complainers as I vent about it. Last night, we have great video of the ATV riders in Providence. This woman, where is this in Providence? What is that? I'm just curious. They're all over the blanking city. Where is this in Providence? Who put that comment? That set me off. Where is this in Providence? I'm just curious. Don't be. Always a non-subscriber, by the way. We can't go to, there it is, Marianne Barbosa. I'm just curious. Don't be. Always a non-subscriber. Folks, I can't wait. We're making a clean break. We're going to subscriber only. I can't take it. The biggest complainers are always the non-subscribers. Just the way it is. What was the other complaint? The guy, I need to know what happened to the woman in Cumberland with the fire pit. No, you want to know what happened. You need to get on there. What was his message? You need to dig and get the information out of that funeral home. Excuse me. The woman in Cumberland lost her life. No. I'm going to follow the lead of the Cumberland police, who put out a statement. That's it. I have a lot more questions. Well, too bad. What do you mean you have a lot more questions? How about a little sensitivity? That's it. I need to know. That's the press release? That's it? Yeah. That's all they're putting out. It's very sad. Monday night, April 3rd, Cumberland police, residents on Mayflower Drive, reported a deceased female. The victim appeared to have tragically died as a result of injuries sustained from an accident with a working backyard fire pit. Fire marshal was contacted and also responded to the scene. And they offer condolences to family and friends. Well, you need to I need to dig. You need to dig to the... You need to aggressively, if you want to be an investigative reporter, you need to get to that funeral. No, excuse me. No, I don't. And who said I want to be? Stop giving advice, some of you individuals. I need to. No. You want to know. You don't need to know. Do I have to go through a lecture again on needs and wants? Right? Just like some of the people. Well, I need the latest cell phone, said the person with the EBT card. No. No, you want the latest iPhone. You don't need the latest iPhone. I need a tattoo. No. You want a tattoo. I need money for booze. No, you want money for booze. Many of the homeless need money for drugs. No, they want money for drugs. They don't need money for drugs. Needs and wants. Is it any wonder the state is going to hell in a handbasket with the governor that we have? No wonder he lives with his mother. How about that East Providence? Folks, and I recognize I'm jumping around a little bit. But anyhow, I will have the video up later. It's not going to be enough video to suffice everyone. I get that. There's a lot of complainers, these people with the questions. Where is this in Providence? I was raised not to use the phrase, shut up. But, what is that? They're riding all over. What does that matter? I'm just curious. Don't be. What's her name? Barbosa. I'm just curious. Yeah. What'd that do to the cat? God almighty. I'm telling you. At times I enjoy the social media stuff. At other times, folks, it is putting... One's going to need a ride to Butler in one of those white jackets very soon. Maybe I'll seek treatment at Atmed Urgent Care. 2 locations. Atwood Avenue in Johnston, right in the Atwood Medical Center. And also 5750 Post Road, East Greenwich, at Med Urgent Care. Occupational medical services available at both locations, pre-employment physicals, DOT exams, drug testing. If you want to wait 7 hours at a blanking emergency room, good luck. Instead, I visit at Med Urgent Care. They have doctors and nurses. Cost-efficient healthcare alternative. Saw me both times in less than 30 minutes. That's urgent care. One time I think it was like, I hadn't even finished filling out the form, and they were leading me in. Wide-ranging, cost-efficient healthcare alternative. The next time you need urgent care, yes, you can mention one at Med Urgent Care. All right, someone sent me this, and we are seeking legal action and copyright. I have been supportive of the Park Theater in Cranston. Suddenly now they have the Park After Dark. Gee, I wonder where they came up with that. Unbelievable, folks, what we put up with. Oh, the Park After Dark. Boy, that sounds a lot like One After. That's all right. Hey, listen, we have it copyrighted. We'll get Attorney Tim Dodd on this matter, and we're going to handle it. Now, all right, the video with the state police raid is going to have to be later. The ATV situation, I'm going to talk about in a moment. I want to also just touch on, before I talk about the ATV situation, and we have fresh video up. Where is that in Providence? I'm just curious. Don't be. They ride all over the city. Here it is. Concerns surround list of issues at new high school in East Providence. Folks, here's what no one in the media is going to tell you. This is a brand new high school. Brand new. $250 million. Keep in mind, how many other schools does Governor McGreed have going? Doors held up with drywall screws. Doors are missing screws. They have drainage retention ponds aren't letting the water seep away. Drain line problem. They have massive light pole can't be installed. It is a host of problems. This is part of the problem. When it's a no-bid public labor agreement put out, it's part of the problem. It's part of the problem. They don't, this isn't like put out to bid. This is they assign it and hand it to someone. And when someone is just handed something like that, you get shoddy work. So, all right, I'm going to touch on, just remember, when you see the talk of the North Providence with the state police, let's just remember who was out there on Tuesday night. Hold on, I'm going to just, this Lincoln High School thing, a digital hit list. What is it? What is wrong with these people? And none of them can read. Well, some of them can read. All right. Throwback. I like that, Channel 10. Providence Mayor Buddy Cianci was arraigned 22 years ago. Maybe I'll play that next hour. All right, I want to touch on the ATV thing. As you know, I was at the press briefing with Mayor Smiley, the chief of police. If you check the Facebook page, we have, as I've said, we've had more encounters, ATV encounters of the first kind, more than anyone. And I'm gonna break it down for you with what is playing here. But I want to stay on track. Folks, this portion of the John DePietro Show, listen, if you want to carry excessive weight, it's Holy Thursday. I want to remind you, Christ and the apostles were thin. Part of it was the fish diet. But also, there's no benefit to being obese. And I want to repeat that. Regardless of your age, there are people that start to make excuses, right? Okay, I'm 40 pounds overweight because it was winter. I'm 40 pounds overweight because of my age. I'm 40 pounds overweight because I'm my gender. I'm 40 pounds, whatever, or even higher than that. There's no benefit. Do you see anything that says, doctors have discovered there's a huge benefit to being 50 pounds overweight? During the pandemic, they were the first casualties were the obese. You develop more health problems. And I've interviewed people who have had very excessive weight, and it's exhausting, and they have no energy because they're lugging around all this weight. I worked with a guy in New York. He weighed over 425 pounds. His breakfast was 90 minutes. 90 minutes. A friend of mine stayed over there at one time, like on a Friday night to a Saturday, had breakfast with him and the family. 2 hours. Omelets, bagels, pancakes, French toast. I think he weighed close to 450 pounds. His knees gave out. He had a back surgery. Gee, we wonder what it is. It's because his body could not handle the type of weight. That was just breakfast. Lunch went on all day, and then dinner was rich food into the night in order to be able to sustain his weight of 450 pounds. Folks, unique health. Now, that's extreme. But then you have people that are just 30 pounds overweight or 25 pounds overweight or whatever it may be. I'm talking about unique health, sustainable weight loss, extreme weight loss. You can lose 20 pounds in 10 days. And we're not talking about living at the gym. They target stubborn fat. Here's the good news. They have a free seminar coming up. I shared their page on Facebook, Unique Health. Contact Sandra today, 401-269-9155. Free seminar. Learn more about their unique approach, Unique Health. 401-269-9155. Weight loss that will last a lifetime. No obligation. At least learn more about it. And again, it's going to increase your metabolism and energy. Unique Health. And they're right in Warwick, across from the Kent County Courthouse. Well, folks, at 12:33, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePietro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. Now, right now, as a result of yesterday, with the ATV press briefing, and as I've said, I want to commend Chief Oscar Perez. I want to commend Mayor Brett Smiley. This is a plan. We're going to have a task force, and we're going to use different tools to be proactive policing. Now, what happens now, there's so many benefits to this, and the benefits outweigh any of the negatives. But as I've talked about in the past, and I see people put comments that have no idea what they're talking about. We need to find a place for these kids to ride their bikes and get these kids off the street. Do you realize when they've arrested some of these, quote, kids, they're 30 years old. You don't know what you're talking about. It is true everyone's entitled to their opinion, except you're spreading or you're totally misinformed. They want you to think. And the community does, by the way. Communities do things in order to accommodate youth. That's why there's basketball courts. That's why there's tennis courts. That's why there's ball fields. Rinks are a little bit of a different thing, but there are things like that, and they are to accommodate people. And now you have dog parks to accommodate dog walkers in running trails, and you have bike lanes, and so there are things. These types of vehicles, some of the misinformation, they're not kids. The average age is over 25. These bikes are not cheap. Now, the young man that lost his life on Broad Street and Wheeler, it was 2 weeks ago on that Wednesday night. Now, granted, he had just turned 21, and he had just gotten the bike the night before. But most of them, they were in their mid to late 20s, even older. They arrested someone not long ago. It was the New Year's Eve confrontation in Cranston. The guy was 32 years old. And I'm not even saying that's old. But just get this out of your mind, that it's this business that it's up to the city and the state to find them a place. If someone goes out and buys a Ferrari or a really high-end sports car, it's up to the state of Rhode Island to find a place for this person to drive this car, because he wants to drive it fast. And the same thing goes with someone who gets a horse. You got a horse. Now it's up to North Providence, Johnston, Lincoln. They must find me a place to ride. Wrong. No. Wrongo. So, now several things about this. This business of it's about race. And I'm not going to entertain any of this foolishness. And I know some of the individuals involved that are trying to make this a race thing. This is about, black and brown youths, and we're trying to help these kids, and you're going to find they're totally, purposely trying to distract from this. When someone has, and many of you have seen the video, and if you haven't seen it, I have some on DePietro.com. We have some on the YouTube page. I posted fresh video on the Facebook page last night. You can't tell what race they are when they have the helmet on. This is not, so someone's going to go into my garage and take that. That's not what it is. And as I explained yesterday, they want to be seen. It started several years ago, and it's just kind of grown. And part of the problem is lack of enforcement, really, from Mayor Alorza, who just started to accept that it was just part of life in the city. Now, this is not a problem unique to Providence, by the way. I don't know about Boston so much. New York City's had some high-profile problems with it. Philadelphia has a real problem with it. Tends to be Democrat-run cities that allow it. But they're very problematic. And they are a nuisance. But they are not looking to ride at some park. They like being on the city streets. Anyone that's ever had a convertible, I was thinking the other day, when I was a spokesperson for Paul Massey, I used to test drive all the vehicles. And I still remember, Paul Massey had a location Cadillac in Woonsocket. And when I was going to test drive, and I would test drive their Cadillac convertible. And it is so much fun, and the thing is so fast, and you got the top down, and you're on 295, and when you have a vehicle like that, or some of their Corvettes that are convertibles, the thing can literally go 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. So there's definitely a tendency to drive fast when you have a vehicle like that. Well, the problem is the same thing goes for these young minds. Suddenly they're on one of these vehicles and they're doing wheelies and they're zipping around, and it's not fun to go 30. They like to go and weave, and some of them are very good. They do stunts, and you see them with the wheelies where they touch the ground. Some of them get up on the seats. I mean, it's all a show. But the problem is, number one, it's very dangerous. Number two, it's a public nuisance. It's a sound problem, and they become a pack. You don't have 20 guys riding around in a car. You don't have 20 guys riding around in a bus. But you suddenly have a gang. Sometimes it's more than that. And God forbid, and they're on the highways sometimes, and they go on and off the highway, and it's very difficult. Several weeks ago, when we were doing a WAN on the scene, first on the scene, we were in Silver Lake, and suddenly there they were. Now, there weren't a lot of them, but there were like 5 or 6, and the police cars can't follow where they go. They go over the sidewalks. They cut through a parking lot. It becomes a cat and mouse game. And then if they're getting close to one of the other ones rides close. So then maybe the police goes and gets that one. So what the mayor is introducing, and I think it's smart, and it's really, Chief Oscar Perez, is a proactive approach. And as I've tried to explain, now, over the next several weeks, if you go near a ball field at night, you're going to see these, kind of guys, and girls sometimes, but adults pulling up. And what do they have? They have a glove, and they have a bat, and there's these softball leagues. And they may work during the day, but then they start parking, and then a lot of the people, they play on the same teams, and it's very social, and they get to know, and then there's always, a drink afterwards and that type of thing. Well, it's kind of like that. They meet up somewhere, and you have someone in it, and it's not expensive to rent. You don't need a lot of room, but like to rent a garage in certain sections of Providence, maybe $100 a month, maybe $150. And that's even if you have to pay. It's not a lot of money. You don't need a house, just a garage. They store it there. They meet up park their cars now. It's then a ritual. Then some of them, they were working all day doing whatever. Some of them not so much. But maybe they were doing some kind of work during the day. And then it's have a brew, they bring food, they, cannabis, sometimes something a little heavier, and then boom, then they click off and they start the ride. And suddenly they come from around a corner and there's 20 of them, 25 of them, and all different, and they have a general idea where they're going to go. They have the leaders, everyone kind of follows along. Some of them are filming each other. So, but the problem is, it's a problem, and it's a problem for motorists, and they don't follow traffic rules by and large, and they weave in and out. But they're not. It's not like let's go 35. They go as fast as they can, and they weave around the speed humps, and so the idea of going after them in a proactive manner, I think it's the way to go, because when you have normal police, and if you've seen when I am out at night live streaming, for instance, in Silver Lake, when we were there, that police officer doing that was taking away from that officer doing something else. So they take up a lot of resources. We were in Cranston, excuse me, after the crash. And the Cranston police, they were coming down through Washington Park, down Broad Street. They were letting them vent a little bit and so forth. But the fact that Cranston police had officers there takes away from other calls. So where I think Chief Perez, the chief of police of Providence, is doing a smart idea is, instead of taking away from someone that maybe is out at another call, maybe a member of the PC basketball team has pulled a gun on another female. This way you have a dedicated task force, and they can use intel and figure out where they're storing it, how it's coming together, who's involved, kind of, cut the head off as opposed to chasing the tail. That's really what it's about. Has nothing to do with racism. Has not. If they're all white that are riding, it's still a nuisance. Has really nothing to do with gender. There was a female rider. She's on the Facebook page a lot. She was actually very good. But has nothing to do with gender. We don't know what their pronouns are. We don't know if they're he, she, they, them, whatever. We don't know if they're gay, straight, who knows. But they are brazen. And a lot of them are no strangers to police. They carry weapons. They're a dangerous crew. And then you saw it during the course of the Jamal Gonzalez problems. That was October of 2020. And then look what happens, right? That was his fault. He ran his unregistered moped into the wall. And then after flipping off the police? And what were all the local activists saying? Oh yeah, the police did that. They rammed him from behind. Think of the riots that took place after that, the damage that took place after that. All lies. With this Cranston thing, Cranston police were at the crash site, and some of the kids they call it a vigil now from where they died. You did that. You were chasing them. Lies, total lies. But it certainly doesn't stop them from spreading it. So I don't blame the police, because if anything goes wrong, who do they blame? They blame the police. If there's a young kid on a motocross bike that is not supposed to be on the roadways, not supposed to be on the roadway, and if he's going fast, and then he crashes, and the kid in Cranston, they didn't even have helmets on. No motorcycle license, no helmets, no lights on the bike. Not even on the passenger. And then look at what the, quote, community starts to do. Who do they blame? They blame the police. That is moronic. Of course, that is an uneducated, low IQ individual, but it doesn't stop them from that. And the people out there right now objecting to this task force are more uneducated, low IQ individuals that wouldn't know the truth if it bit them in the behind. So, I don't know about that. We'll check into that. Okay. That's interesting. All right, folks, there's always something we could be checking into. I appreciate that. Maybe there's someone over there. Laurel Hill Avenue in Cranston. I think I heard some gunshots. All right, possible. Please run video. You'll know if you'll see the shell casings. Juan is busy at the moment doing his radio show. I can't be over there, but I could try to find out after the program. But we're always interested in this. Folks, this portion of the John DePietro Show, and it's brought to you by Falcon Pest Services. Call them today at 401-739-1322. 401-739-1322. Falcon Pest Services. Residential, commercial, serving Rhode Island and Massachusetts, whether it's for termites, bed bugs, ants, roaches, mice, rats, mosquitoes, many other pests. Falcon Pest Services. Call them today for your business, for your building, for your home, for your condo. Falcon Pest Services. Get rid of them. Who wants to live with termites? Who wants to live with ants, roaches, mice, rats, mosquitoes? Falcon Pest Services. 401-739-1322. I want to just send her, she was nice enough to send me a message. Look for yellow markers of shell casings. Maybe there's someone. Look for yellow markers for shell casings. Let me just send that over. I think I have someone I can send over there. Hold on one moment, folks. 12:48. I know I'm live. Let me send somebody over there. Member of Team One. Folks, you notice we are getting people everywhere, and we have the footage. And I'm very happy about this, by the way. Thank you. But we have we had the only footage of what happened in Woonsocket. We, DePietro.com, this page, Juan, the chosen Juan on the scene. We are the only ones that have footage of, or soon to be, the raid that was in Johnston just 2 weeks ago. The state police raid in Silver Lake this morning. State police carrying a body out of a house in North Providence yesterday. But that Woonsocket shooting were the only ones footage. And also, I also want to thank now one of our viewers, followers, Mike Newell. He's a local photographer. He was leaving a place in East Providence last night. And suddenly there's a guy, and it's not funny, but he's unsteady, what's the proper word? Mentally unstable individual. He's got a sword. I mean, a full, like, General Custer sword. And he's using it like a unicorn. Then he's slashing a full sword, like a machete, there's no one there. And he's talking to people. And he thinks he's fighting them. So, Mike smartly calls 911. Stays on scene. Smartly films. And East Providence police, I mean, look what they walk into. Suddenly, there's a guy who's got a sword on the sidewalk. And they're there to help him and get him help. So first of all, they got the sword out of it. You can see the video. I mean, it's, folks, and Governor McKee wants to bring these drug usage centers into, this is insanity. As I've told you, a major, I don't care what anyone says, a major deterrent to people doing drugs is fear of that it could harm them, what could happen, what am I going to do? That could be unfounded, but it is a fear that prevents them from doing the drug. Governor McKee's going to set up shop. Bring your drugs in. We'll test it so then you can do it safely. Do you know there are college kids already saying this is going to be fantastic, right? On the east side, whether it's Brown, RISD, or PC, URI, bring in your cocaine. We'll test it, make sure there's no fentanyl in it. and then you're good to go. Like, this is what Governor McKee is doing. So you have people living under underpasses, people with swords, all kinds of lunacy that is going on. And now Governor McKee, and I don't care what anyone says, like these people, McKee, he took over for Raimondo. Listen, then tell me this. When is he officially in charge? Because he's been the governor now for 2 years. I would argue whatever's happening now it's on his watch. And this whole, the narrative of the homeless, and we have to help the homeless, and that could be any one of us, and and how dare you? And especially those advocates that were yelling in front of the Rhode Island, where are they supposed to sleep now if they can't sleep here? And who's going to give them a ride to the shelter? And where are they supposed to go? And this is, what we got to do more. If you're wondering, this whole narrative about the poor homeless, and we got to do more to help the homeless, well, I encourage you to, I don't know. I encourage you to, yeah, wait, I'm not doing that. We're not doing, no. We'll find out. We'll find out. All right, I'm taking. All right, I am hearing if there's someone right now. 267 Post Road. There's a bad fire right now. Someone is listening or watching. Let me just see where that is. Post Road. No. Okay. Where's that near? It's right near, it's actually in Lakewood. Okay. Ooh, near Patuxent. Near Patuxent. Not far from the Cozy Grill. Supposedly the house is fully engulfed. All right. If there's someone of Team 1 over there, make your way over Post Road. I'm sure there'll be a tremendous amount of excitement over there. But, folks, something has got to give. Something has got to give, because it is right now, I would just argue, Governor McKee is, where is the state going? Where are things going right now? It seems like things are getting worse, not better. And they're going to get worse. This business, though, of people to tell someone, you know what, you can handle a drug problem and live an effective life. That is not leading anywhere. This business of it's one step to rehab. There's no evidence that points to that. I wish there was. If you've seen the footage when we were under the bridge with all those needles, it's so horrific. Now, I also just want to mention, this whole narrative about the poor homeless, and that could be any one of us, and listen, I'm not minimizing that there are people that develop a substance abuse problem, and then, what can happen to them after that. And then their actions are a result of, it's really about trying to obtain more drugs. And and I am well aware that it hurts families. I've heard from different people, they have family members that disappear. But if you read the story about, and I did post it, that woman from Rhode Island who was working at a shelter in Vermont, and how a woman in the shelter was just arrested. She went out. They have the receipt and the picture of it. Homeless shelter. She went out and got an axe and killed this woman in Brattleboro, Vermont, brutally attacked and killed this poor woman from Rhode Island, Leah Rosen Pritchard, who'd been working at the shelter. And the woman calls her and the woman attacked her. She had like a sheet over, and she was covering the axe with a sheet. And then someone that immediately stumbled into the scene said he didn't recognize who it was because there was so much, they couldn't tell who it was. And the woman was using a knife. It's just so, there's security camera footage of it. It's so horrific. So this whole narrative about the poor homeless, and that could be, excuse me, there's something more at play here. There seems to be this attitude of all we need is more low-income, affordable housing. You're missing the larger point that I believe, which is a lot of these people they've made poor choices in life, and many of them have substance abuse problems. Now, if you are on certain type, if you don't take your medication, people that are on medication, they tell them they're not supposed to drink or use drugs. If you're not using on your medication and then you've been using some of these drugs for a long time, I interviewed a guy who did crystal meth for a period, I don't know how long it was, but he told me that it was still in his system 2 years later. He could still feel it running through his veins. 2 years later. It is a myth that all we need is more affordable housing. You're not helping them. You're not. And that woman from Rhode Island in Vermont, with a ghastly death, she was there to help those people, and then killed with an axe. How horrific, how frightening, how terrifying. She was unrecognizable on the floor. As gruesome as that sounds. And boy, you don't hear anything, homeless advocates don't want to hear anything about that for the people that were sleeping out of the State House or sleeping on the park bench in Woonsocket, or what are you going to do to help these people? And mama, you're not, people need to go easy, be careful. Folks, this portion of the program is brought to you by our friend Tom Bryan, Ameriprise Financial. Call today, 401-434-1510. Office is located 400 Massasoit Avenue in East Providence. Ameriprise Financial, 401-434-1510. So whether it's questions about retirement planning, maybe major purchase planning, Tom Bryan, Ameriprise Financial. Call today. Take advantage. Free consultation. You can also learn more about long-term care coverage. Tom Bryan, Ameriprise Financial. 401-434-1510. Office is located 400 Massasoit Avenue in East Providence. Tom Bryan, Ameriprise Financial. Call today, 401-434-1510. I will be doing Facebook Live later. Folks, right now it's 12:59. We're going to break, get you updated with the 1 o'clock news. Much more ahead on this Thursday. You're listening to the John DePietro Show. Remember, next hour is radio only, AM 1380, 99.9 FM. You can listen online at the website, which is depietro.com. We're going to break for the 1 o'clock news. Much more ahead. The Power Hour is next, right here on the John DePietro Show.